What's up, guys? Your girl Luca here. Luca Teal, yes, the Ashen one, the Ashen Lucario, the Ashen Luca. It's me. I'm here with another episode of the show. Today I'm joined by Singer
What up, what up, what up?
and then also Slomo.
Yeah, what's up?
And we will be discussing Dragon Dogma's 2's performance, not just in regards to the frame rate, but also in regards to user perspective. It is currently doing quite poorly on Steam because PC gamers are the only set of gamers that stand on business, but I digress. While other folks are heavily saying, well, they're saying that all the upset is misinformation. Folks are dogpiling without actually knowing anything. Lots of ignorance going around. Apparently, from they say that folks are ignorant, they don't know what they're talking about. And the game is sitting at a mixed review score, 1,000 reviews on Steam. So, Dragon Dogma's 2 scores beforehand, before the game actually released, were very positive. It's currently sitting at an 86 with 62 critic reviews, and people seem to have been loving the game. And then the game actually came out, and the microtransactions were revealed, and the really poor PC performance was unveiled, and things have gone downhill from there, and it's sitting at a 4.4 for a user score. Mind you, user scores, anybody can go in and score, so you got to keep that in mind as well. But
They do have to own the game though on Steam. They do have to own it. Yeah.
On Steam, but yeah, on Metacritic, it's just free for all, right? So,
right.
Yeah, I mean, what are our thoughts about how is this game running on PC, guys?
Well, I'm gonna say this up front. If you were attempting to buy some knee pads this past week, you were out of luck because they were sold out everywhere. The stock prices for knee pads are at an all-time high. If you invested in knee pads last week, you won, sir. You definitely get a W because there's a lot of people wearing knee pads right now because they are on their knees for Capcom and they are defending Capcom tooth and nail like it was their own sibling or something. It's freaking ridiculous. The game is a good game. Like, I've been playing it. Let me look up my Steam to see how many hours I have in it. So I'm fully active.
While you're looking that up, Singer, how's the PC performance?
10.2 hours. Go ahead, Singer. Singer's muted.
Yeah. Because I want to know how the game is running on PC from your perspectives. Because I'm assuming you guys are playing on PC.
Yes, I'm playing it on Steam. Like I said, 10.2 hours. I have a high-end rig, so it runs acceptable for me, but not at the level of performance that I would expect from having a CPU that's an i7 13700K and a 4080 Super with 64 gigs of RAM and one of the fastest current SSD NVMe storage solutions out there. The performance isn't what it should be, which I can imagine from the people who are complaining about the performance with older hardware or less performant hardware, why they are upset. It should not have been released in this state, in my opinion. And considering that Capcom's fiscal year ends at the end of this month, I know exactly why they chose to release this game now. They did it for money reasons. They needed the sales, the initial sales off this game to count for this fiscal year and not next year. And so that's why they released it now. There's no other reason than that. People can say whatever they want. The reality is that they need to get that money to count now for investment purposes. Go ahead, Singer. I got more to say, but I can let you go ahead and go, man.
All right, so Dragon's Dogma 2. I held off because a few of the guys in the Discord, they got it early before me. Now they're running 4090s, and they the beefiest rigs that you could probably get. And they were like, "Yo, this performance is out of this." The fact they didn't release with DLSS, right? First of all, was crazy because they have mods for it now where you can activate it. You could go on Nexus Mods, and
No, it has
they got.
DLSS.
I thought there was something off about the DLSS.
No, they promised it would have DLSS 3, and it only has DLSS 2.
Oh, so yeah, that would be what the mod
They
does
also
then.
promised it would have frame generation. It also doesn't have that either.
Yeah, that is true. So the modding community is figuring that out because they've already got different mods for the DLSS and whatnot. So shout out to them. Because they would be mightily disappointed. But I'm glad the piece. See, this is how you know Steam are real gamers. Because if your game comes out like crap, they'll let you know. Like they don't have knee pads and sit there for these companies. They're like, your game is ass. We're gonna let everyone know your game is ass. So it's like, oh, I saw the Metacritic score, and I was like, ooh, that's really, really good. And then I saw the Steam score, and was like, ooh, that's really, really bad. So, and you can't cheese it either because you have to own the game. And a few of the people I know have already refunded it until they fix it. So I'm gonna hold off until the issues, because I generally hate games with issues. It's like Horizon Zero Dawn had it, bought it day one, and I was like, no, thank you. I'll wait for some patches. So it's unfortunate, but it's a fact. It looks up to be a fantastic game. It looks to be exactly what you want from an RPG. Super hyped to play it when it gets fixed, of course. And shout out to everyone on console playing it and enjoying it
How's it running on
course.
console?
I don't know. Some people are claiming it's sticking to 30 FPS. Some people are claiming
it's uncapped. It's uncapped.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really run at 30. In the cities, it's like
24?
high 20s. Yeah, high to mid 20s in the cities. And out in the world, it's like, I think the Xbox Series X has the highest average of like 42. And then like the Series S and PS5 are at like 38 on average. So it's uncapped. So it's going to fluctuate. They probably should have just capped it at 30 to kind of give people that at least a smooth experience when you're everywhere but in the city.
You know what's funny about you say that, Slower? Those weak ass dodgy CPUs in these consoles. Given it's a CPU bound game more than a GPU. It also brought me onto a different tangent. I was like, this is the same CPU they're going to be using in the Pro, just
Right.
with a little higher clock, and you're expecting something different when it's the same CPU.
Right. So 5 Pro likely isn't going to be able to run this at 60 either, unless Pisser, which is PSSR, everyone's calling it Pisser now, unless Pisser is like really like that great, like it's better than DLSS where it could actually give you that uplift. But more than like most times upscalers, when it upscales from like a really low frame rate, it does not turn out that great. Like usually upscalers are better when you're at least somewhere at the bare minimum, like in the like 45, 50 range. Then upscaling and getting you over 60 and higher is much, much better when it comes to how it looks visually. And when you're somewhere below the 30s, it normally doesn't look well. We've seen that on PC multiple times with AMD hardware. So yeah,
but I was
just gonna say, but no, go ahead and finish, man. Go ahead and finish.
No. You go, and then I'll finish.
In the cities, it's the CPU boundness of the game. It takes place in the cities with the NPCs, and I guess however they have them scripted, and what the AI is for those NPCs and what they're doing. So a lot of NPCs in the cities, and especially the capital, that you probably can reach maybe 2 hours into the game. But like for my my rig. I'm averaging like 90 to 110 frames per second out in the world. It goes down to about 80 in most of the towns. But then when I go into the capital, it will go to low 60s. And it's not just that like it's in the 60s. So I mean that's acceptable. Typically it is. But the frame timing is bad. Is like it's got this judder and stutter going on. And it's not just that the game is CPU bound. The game is not properly using the CPU cores that you have in a good way. And so that's something that they have to optimize with the game, which lends more towards the fact that this game just was not ready to launch.
Yep.
When you promise that you're going to have DLSS 3 and frame generation there, and you only have DLS 2 and no frame generation, then yeah, your game wasn't ready. When although I found out this is by design, because we can talk about the microtransactions later, but when you don't have basic features that every game has, which is the option to choose new game, when you don't even have that, like what is going on here? This is an incomplete product. And so there are people who are going to cap for it and make up excuses and say completely illogical things like, well, this is how the previous game was, or this is how Capcom's always done it. And it's just like, how is that a defense? So you're not saying it's good. You're just saying they've always been this bad with this stuff. So why are you complaining now? Which is stupid. That's a stupid argument. And for the people who are making this stupid argument, some of them are actually pretty intelligent people. So I'm kind of shocked by the stupidity that's coming out of their Twitter fingers or out of their mouth.
The thing of it is when people like something, they tend to speak from emotion and not logic. So it's very difficult for them to separate the fact that they're enjoying something versus any criticism or critique that someone may have of it, which is unfortunate because I truly believe that you can genuinely love something and still offer critique. I think two things can exist at the same time, but for a lot of folks, it is one or the other. It's 100% you support this or 100% you're against it. I've seen people say that if you don't support the game, if you don't understand how it is, then there's something wrong with you, essentially. They are making it that anyone complaining about this game or the microtransactions or the poor performance, they're the ones who are stupid. And then there are people on the opposite end, or folks who are thoroughly, they're enjoying the game and they are defending it to the end. There are other folks on the other side who are also calling them stupid and saying things like, I don't know, get on your knees. You're on your knees for Capcom. Some crazy stuff like that. So it's been a really interesting.
Oh, who would say that?
Also,
they are on their knees. Honestly, I'm sorry with some of these arguments, but no.
Go ahead, Singer.
Go ahead, Singer. Yeah.
To Luca's point, this is why Steam is such a great place if you want to research games good or not, because they'll give you the truth, right? Take Tales of Arise's DLC for example, right? I was like, ooh, Tales of Arise DLC. Let me go check it out. Went on Steam, mixed to poor reviews. Read some of the reviews. They're basically selling you the same shit over again with some new skins and some new weapons. Nothing new. So I'm like, okay, I can pass. I'll wait for a deep sale. This is valuable information. Like, where else you get this information? Unless you're watching some of your favorite reviewers, and even then, they probably lied to you because they know exactly what to say to you. So it's like,
basically,
it's great, and that's why when I look to Dragon's Dogma 2, I'm out, and it's like every game. And that's why when a game comes out, I immediately look on Steam. I'm like, oh, overwhelmingly positive. Okay, good. We're in for a good time. Lovely.
Again, it does go back to Steam gamers being the only subset of gamers, PC gamers that is, being the only subset of gamers that actually hold corporations accountable, which is very unfortunate, in my opinion. I don't. Regardless, listen, I'll make it clear. I don't mind microtransactions. They don't bother me. I've bought microtransactions before, especially if there's like a cute skin. A cute skin. I'm all there. Okay, Alphen and Shion, they were looking cute as fuck in Tales of Arise, right? But some of these microtransactions, I find them a bit silly. If I find them silly, and I understand that you can find these in game, and so there's folks who are like, "Why are you complaining? Because you can find another game, find another game. So why are you complaining? Why are you
Then
saying
why
these
do they
things?"
make it?
You know, it's just like, no, I understand that you can find it in a game, but the fact that it exists in the first place is it's a bit like if you can find all of this easily in the game, then what's the point of buying it?
Making
Like,
them.
what's the point
Yep.
of the microtransactions?
It's
Why even make it a microtransaction if
the
it's so
thing is-
easy to get in the game?
The thing is, people have more money than sense. Look at the people who buy Madden and FIFA and whatnot. They will spend umpteen thousands on. Take FIFA, for example. FIFA Ultimate Team. People will sink thousands into that. Or just constantly gambling away the money, trying to get Ronaldo or whatever, or gold Ronaldo. And then you're like, yes, I got him, and my Ultimate Team is the best. And it's like, the reason why FIFA hasn't changed in the past 5 years, 10 years, is because of you people. They know they just release it the same year. We're going to make the money off the whales. And, well, look, all these DLCs. People will sit there and go, I could farm for 100,000 of this currency, or I could pay $10. I'll just pay the $10. I ain't got time to do the farming. GG. They got you. So, yeah.
So yeah, so let's take a look at some of these microtransactions. There's the Dragon Dogma.
Real quick before we do that, I did want to just kind of clarify something. I am enjoying the game. I wouldn't put 10 hours into the game if it wasn't fun to play. It is a good game. It's got issues, and I wish it didn't launch with those issues. But it is fun to play. I have a what's the name of the class? Mystic Spearhand, which is like a advanced hybrid class that I already unlocked. It's a lot of fun. I'm having a good time. I see other people posting clips of the game playing, with really cool things happening with you and your pawns. It's a fun game to play. It's just that like Luca was saying before, like it's possible to criticize something even though you think it's good. And it's a lot of my, I guess, heat for the people who are just trying to shout down anyone who has any kind of a critical opinion on this game. Is just that, like, these are the same people who will be critical and proudly boast about how they're critical of platforms, of other publishers. But then when it comes to this game, it's just they lose all common sense. And it's like a lot of the stuff, like the microtransactions we're about to talk about, I'm not engaging in any of this stuff. I don't really care about it. I like microtransactions when they are cosmetic, and I'll rock with those as I do on Fortnite and whatever else live service game I play. But in single player games, when you're taking things that are like a part of the actual game design and making them microtransactions, I don't really think that's cool. I understand the people who are super upset about it, but I just don't like the whole shut up and play the game crowd that doesn't want, like, it's like they're defending Capcom instead of the gamers who are actually spending their money on games. It's just weird. Okay. I'm done. Go ahead, Luca.
All right. So Dragon Dogma's 2 Explorer Camping Kit, some music and sound collection, a harpy snare, smoke beacons, a harpy lure item, heartfelt pendant, which is a thoughtful gift, ambivalence with rift incense, which is a change, pawn inclinations, makeshift jail key, escape from the jail, Art of Metamorphosis, character editor, port crystal, warp location marker, restore the dead to life. So, several wake stones, points to spin beyond the rift, several of those, and then rift crystal points, which all adds up to $41. Again, I understand that you can access all these in the game. I think that's great. But I don't think there's any harm in discussing the microtransactions and, posing the question, okay, so why do these exist? Especially since seemingly you don't need them, right? Like people are saying that you don't actually uh, need any of them. These can be found with zero trouble, right? But they still exist, and they exist for a reason, and that is to give players the option to skip a couple things or have some extra items and so on. But yeah, a lot of people are acting like the mere concept of someone critiquing this game and critiquing the microtransactions means that there's something wrong with them. Again, as a consumer, you have the right to criticize the product because you spent your money on it, right? Of course, there are definitely some limits. I think it depends on the context, but when it comes to buying a game and detailing your experience with it, I think that you know, all perspectives can be valid in one way or another, especially if it comes down to something that is something objective, like you can't deny it. So, like Dragon's Dogma 2 has PC performance issues to the point where Capcom addressed it, right?
Hmm.
Dragon's Dogma 2, they hid the microtransactions. That's where another issue stems from. They hid them. So it's like, "Oh, it's not a big deal." If it's not a big deal, then why did they hide them? Because they knew that it would get a poor reaction, right?
Yeah.
Like, am I crazy for thinking that?
No, not at all. And I do. There's something. I didn't play the first one at launch, but people who did play the first one at launch have told me. So this isn't like a guarantee, but this is what I've been told, that there was no option for a new game when the game first launched, and then they added that in a later update, like they plan on doing this time. And the way Capcom's language made it appear as if it was a error or a mistake that they didn't have the new game in there. But if you did it before and you're doing it again, that seems more like a game design choice than you actually made a mistake. And it kind of follow me down this road here, right? Let's say, so I think all of this is about getting people to do the microtransactions, people who like the time savers, as Bless said in the chat, the people who just don't want to put the work in to do those things. And let's say you start a game, you did the character creator. But sometimes when you do a character creator, what you created in the character creator isn't reflective in what you see in your character in the world in the game. You're like, oh man, that didn't turn out right. So maybe you want to make some changes, where you go to the stylist that's in the game, and to be able to make the kind of changes you want to make, you need like 25,000 gil or whatever money that's in there. Now that could take not actually all that long to accumulate. You could get 25,000 K in like a couple of hours, or since you just started the game, you could just hit new game and start over. But when new game isn't there, and people are less likely to go turn off cloud saves on Steam, so that the server version that Capcom has doesn't overwrite anything you do, then go in outside the game and delete their save in order to start a new game. People aren't going to do all that. People aren't, if they don't have the very quick solution of just starting a new game, they're probably just going to buy Art of Metamorphosis character editor for $2. Like, it's pretty obvious what this is. This is all designed around, like, so what are you going to do? And then of course they'll add in the new game option later on, after the rush of people buying the game day one at launch is over. That's what it is.
Yeah. So, yes, so because of that, that's where I find issue with the entire thing. And again, I don't understand how people can't see that this is a bit odd. Like this
Mm-hmm.
whole like, well, it was like that before, not having the option for a new game. Well, that is a stupid. It's a stupid game design decision. I don't care what anyone says about it. I mean, it's just my opinion, but I think it's a stupid game design decision. And because they make it so difficult to start over, and they have this character creator I just, I don't like when publishers do this because it just mars the goodwill of the gamers and it mars the game. And I don't understand how they are still doing things like this, knowing again they are going to get a negative reception because they hid this from the reviewers. The reviewers are coming out saying, we didn't know about this. This is not another yellow chair situation. We were not aware. They didn't tell us. This all happened after the fact." So, which I think the same thing happened with what, Diablo 3? 4? Which Diablo came out? 4?
The
Cool.
one last year, 4?
Yeah. Where there were several microtransactions added later to the game that caused people to reconsider their scores. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't know. It's just a little weird. Just a little weird. And Soma, did you get into any arguments with anybody about this?
I had quite a few people. Someone accused me of not even playing the game, and I exposed myself, and then I replied to him with a tweet. Yeah. Well, no Diddy, not like myself like that, but like I exposed my my fraudery of not playing the game, and then I replied to him with a tweet showing that screenshots that I had and what my current performance was, and I got multiple screenshots from the character creator and stuff like that, proving he's an idiot for not even looking at my timeline before saying that I didn't play the game. But yeah, I got a few people that was some pushback, but the reason why my initial tweet about the whole thing was that I just didn't like people going after other people for having complaints. Like, if you buy something, you bought a product and you're not satisfied fully with the product, then you have every right to speak how you feel on that product. It is whether someone else agrees or not is inconsequential. That's your money, you spend it, and I don't necessarily like agree with all the complaints, but when I see like people who are defending it, all they're harping on is, this is how Capcom's always done it. This is Capcom. Just like almost as if you have to like buy and play every Capcom game they've come out with in the past 6 or 7 years to have any kind of like relevant issues or legitimate issues to them on this game. It's like, who are you? You're nobody. No one gives a shit about your opinion. Other people can have their complaints, and they don't need to be attacked on social media because you're fanboying out for Capcom. Get Capcom's pubic hair out of your face, and calm the freak down. It's just unnecessary, and so maybe
it really.
I jumped in for the little guy getting kicked around, but it was just
I'm
weird.
sorry,
Man.
you did what now?
I jumped in for the little guy.
You definitely didn't do that for the benefit of the little guy. You did it because it was annoying to you. You didn't like seeing people do what they were doing. That's why you said something. It was not to stand up for anybody. Let's be clear here. He definitely didn't do it for anyone else.
I like to stand up for the little guy.
You definitely don't, but okay.
I do, but still, we can move on. It's fine.
Yes. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what are you even saying right now? But yeah, I just think that at the end of the day, I saw a couple people say, I hate social media. This really bothers me that you guys are arguing and are always complaining and blah, 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 whatever, right? And it's fine to be upset, but I'm just like, damn, if people on Twitter are like upsetting you to the point where you gotta bitch about it, it's time to take a break. Take a little break, and not one of those breaks where you're like, I'm taking a break, guys, and then you're back an hour or two later,
Yeah.
like just
break.
leave. Nobody wants to see that I'm taking a break and then you don't take a break. You come back a moment later. That shit is just ridiculous to me because you're addicted to the fucking app and you can't actually take a break. But you also can't seem to like this is so silly. I was talking to my coworker, right? And he's all like, "You like Jenna Ortega, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do." He's like, "Is that why you're gonna go see Beetlejuice?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "What would you say and how would you feel if I said, I don't think Jenna Ortega is pretty?" And I was just like, Okay. What? Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Like, what do you expect me to say? I don't care. Like, what? I don't understand why you would think I would care about something like that. I'm not gonna get upset and start arguing with anybody over something like that. That's whatever, you know? If I'm enjoying a game, then I'm enjoying it. I don't care about what anyone else has to say about it. The only time I do care is if I'm, like, posting about it, I'm enjoying myself, and then some fucking cuck comes out of nowhere and starts bitching at me about it or offering their unsolicited opinion. That's the only time where I'm just like, "Okay," but I usually tell people, I'm like, "I don't care about your opinion." Like, I don't know who lied to you and said that your perspective was worth mentioning, but, I don't wanna see it. Like, I don't care to hear it. There's nothing that you can say to like, what is the point of you coming here to tell me this? Just to air your grievances? Like, your opinion is irrelevant. So I don't think you should care about what anyone else thinks if you're enjoying the game. You shouldn't be getting triggered if folks are complaining about the microtransactions or complaining about the frame rate issues. I think those are valid concerns. You know, I can definitely understand them. It shouldn't upset you to the point of wanting to take a little breaky break. I mean, you should if it's bothering you because that's not okay, but, like, it's not the big of a deal, you know? And I I don't care about how you shouldn't care about how anyone else feels if you're enjoying yourself. People on social media should not have the ability or the power to sway you one way or the other when it comes to things that you genuinely enjoy. You shouldn't be second guessing yourself if you feel like, "Okay, yeah, I'm enjoying this." But seeing this person not enjoy it is ruining my enjoyment. I saw someone else say, "Let people enjoy things." I'm like, "Yeah, I cool." But also, don't let people sway you to the point where you're not enjoying something anymore. That is like a level of peer pressure that is so silly to me that people still succumb to that. We are adults. Like the most of us are old. Okay, we are older. And yet
Hey, Luca,
yes. In the
prime
middle of my
example.
tirade?
In the middle of your tirade, because it's
Okay, go
important.
ahead.
Everyone knows my love for State of Decay 2. Prime example. Does it have issues? Did everyone complain about it? Yes.
And rightfully
Did
so.
did Luca complain about it? Yes, she did. Did she drop it? Yes. But did I still enjoy it? Did I have a go at Luca for not liking the game? No, I enjoyed the game. Be like me. Enjoy your game.
Yeah,
There we
Singer's
go.
definitely someone who's not gonna let people bother him one way or another when it comes to these kinds of things. So yeah, and Tales of Arise, I will say that. Like Stone platinumed the game to prove that you don't need the microtransactions to beat the game. But the microtransactions in Tales of Arise were fucking egregious.
Mhm.
Were fucking those are the kinds of microtransactions where it's just like, yeah, this was like designed like the game was designed around these microtransactions and you can still complete it. But by God, it is a little bit more difficult. You know what I'm saying? So I think
Yeah, especially
yeah.
with some of those dungeons. I can't remember which microtransaction. Look, did they give you like points or something to upgrade? Is that it?
I don't remember.
I don't remember. Yeah,
Let's look at the Tales of Arise DLC.
Yeah.
I did buy all the cosmetics though because the
I
cosmetics
did
are
too.
fire.
They were
Yeah,
so cute.
I didn't even know they were there. I actually blame Luca for this because I was just, she was like, "Did you get the cosmetics?" I was like, "What cosmetics?" And she's like,
See,
"You haven't seen them?" And I'm like, "No, I don't know what you're talking about." I was good. I would have never bought anything. And then I got curious and I looked and I was like, "Oh,
Not you
hey,
succumbing to peer
hey,
pressure.
hey, slow-mo.
yeah, yeah."
Here's where you went wrong. I got all the cosmetics for free because I just modded it with arguably better
Uh,
cosmetics.
yeah.
Well, I was playing that joint on Xbox, and I think I got it for
But
free.
no, I was playing on PC too. So yeah, I could have did that. I could have went to Nexus
You
Mods
could
and
have just modded it and got it for free.
hooked
Yeah.
up. Yeah.
Let's see here.
Yeah, man.
So there's a growth boost pack for $5 and then some money
That's it. That's what people were
plus
using.
10 level up. You know? Yeah. I mean, and then I saw someone else say, "Well, it's a single player game, so who cares?" I'm just like, "Yeah, no, I hear you. It's just when it makes it difficult for folks who don't wanna I'm not saying it for this particular instance, it made it difficult for folks who don't wanna spend money. But yeah, there were a couple
Hmm.
people. who were just like, yeah, I'm not so sure about how I feel about these microtransactions. I'm not really a fan of them. And I think I had somebody, because I asked folks, I'm like, what do you think about it? And most folks were like, yeah, matter of fact, we take a little bit of a look. Let me see here. So Jez Corden from Windows Central said, for this game, their microtransactions are fine. In fact, I'd say they make the game less fun, but it's a slippery slope towards basic gameplay features being a paid microtransaction. And Jen says, I feel strongly about them because I really hate that fast travel is so limited in this game. I had 2 hours to play this evening and barely got anything done. Most of it was walking, and knowing I can buy these things that can help me is so annoying. Yeah, you can earn them in game, but I'm 25 hours in and I haven't seen one port crystal I can place myself at yet. Oh, isn't it amazing these developers don't do fast travel so you can enjoy the scenery? Does not fly when you can buy the goddamn crystals to surpass that. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. Um, and then DZ says they're optional and completely earnable in game through progression. So I'm looking at the gamers for being crazy again for the sake of it. Righteous Kung Fu says no, this is not a Assassin's Creed Odyssey situation. Solid Evolution saying, Luca, I haven't noticed it. You need to go to the store on the main menu to even see it. I've been playing the game and I love it. My pawn was used by someone and it gave me some meat as a reward. My main issue is the autosave is trash. Oh yeah, the autosave. I heard that. The autosave is kind of not the best either. I think I saw Paul Tassi say something about it. Let me see if I have. Oh yeah, let's see here. I'll share my screen. Autosave data cannot be relied upon to save your progress in this world. It is recommended that you rest at ends at regular intervals if you wish to ensure the reliability of your save data. Which I'm
What
just like,
is that?
I'm like, oh, that's not a
What?
little weird to y'all? No?
Yeah, just like how about you code your game better? If you're saying autosave won't actually do its job, like what the I mean, I haven't noticed any issues yet. But that's crazy that like if you think that autosave's got you and then you go launch the game again and you're like a good 45 minutes behind where you were because autosave didn't do its job. I mean, how about you don't put that message in the game and you make sure autosave is reliable like every other developer that exists?
I can't be too hard on them though, because it's not like the most egregious. Like, shout out to Yaku Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. Shout out to Infinite Wealth. Fantastic game. 10 out of 10. I advise you to play it. If you want New Game Plus, though, you need to buy the Deluxe or the Ultimate Edition, because if you buy the standard game, you don't get New Game Plus.
Which
Just
is
put it out
always
there.
what
It's
an
paywall,
annoying
paywall, New Game Plus. Like,
That's trash.
always
That's
yeah,
garbage.
that is,
annoying.
yes. Like,
And
so.
see, and that's that slippery slope that Jez was talking about. That's what there's a content creator, a big content creator called Co Carnage, that was kind of like on Twitter with a very long post talking about this kind of stuff too. It's like you don't, as the consumer, as the player, we don't know behind the scenes what would have just been a part of the game and what got removed out to put into like a microtransaction or put into a higher, more expensive version of the game, like you mentioned with the New Game Plus. Like New Game Plus is just something, I mean, that's a feature that typically just comes free with games if they have it. If you add it to the game, it's free. Spider-Man 2 last week just added New Game Plus for free. Most games have a New Game Plus. My favorite game of all time, Chrono Trigger, back in the 90s, had New Game Plus.
You know what's even crazier? They did this with Infinite Wealth. This isn't even the worst. Before they did New Game Plus and they locked 2 job classes behind a paywall. One of their previous games. Yakuza 0, they've done this in quite a few of their games. Fantastic games, but these business practices are out of so it's like I enjoy the game, but like, why are you locking away New Game Plus? I'm like, I'll just I'll buy the standard edition because I don't care about New Game Plus. And it's like, okay, cool, I'll buy the standard edition. But for someone who wants, like, that should be a standard. of a game. So it's like Capcom ain't even the worst of it. This is worse than Capcom.
Yeah.
And this is why I would say probably like if you don't like these practices, even if you're someone who's adamantly against it, or you're someone who's out there defending Capcom for some odd reason, just don't engage with these microtransactions. Don't buy these things, because like that's the signal that to them that was a bad idea. Because if they're changing the game design in order to make sure that they can entice you into getting these microtransactions, and it doesn't work, and they don't sell them, they don't make any money off of them, they're probably not going to do it again. But if everyone is engaging in it, they're just going to go a step further in the next game.
And that's the problem FIFA and Madden and all them have, is because you're never getting a new FIFA. You're never getting a revolutionary FIFA ever again, or a Madden game. It's going to be the same regurgitated shit, because all those people who spend those tens of thousands on FIFA Ultimate Team, why do you need to change the game when all they're going to do is sit in Ultimate Team and spend thousands? So that's what it's going to be until people stop. And guess what? No one's going to stop FIFA Ultimate Team. It's not going to happen. So there we go.
But yeah, I feel like we crushed this topic. Okay, so a couple of days ago, I saw this video. Of seemingly some game developers screaming. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. They were outside a GDC screaming in solidarity for all the layoffs that have occurred during the industry. So this is the video. Oh, not it having to load. Oh my God. Well, maybe it just doesn't want to play for me. Maybe it's like, we don't want you making fun of our people for our need to scream. You know what I'm saying? We don't want any of that.
So
Wait, hold on.
what is the end goal of
I found
that
it.
screaming?
Okay. I don't know what the end goal is. And so when I saw this video, I was just like, because someone had shared it, and I was just like, okay, people lie all the time. People lie all the time on Twitter, right? They lie all the time, right? So why, like, am I just supposed to take it at face value that a bunch of developers gathered together to fucking scream into the void? I'm supposed to take, like, I was like, that's really stupid. They wouldn't do that, right? Anyway, that's actually what happened. No, that's what happened. They decided to get together so they could scream about their frustration, their hurt, their annoyance, the pain that they are experiencing. I'm embellishing. I don't know what the point of this was. Let's see here. Oh, so let me see. So, okay, let me just go ahead and share this. All right. So this event was organized by former Epic Games producer Carol Shaw and Fortnite Festival designer Scott John Siegel. Okay. Speaking of PC gamers, Siegel said that all the awards and ceremonies failing to mention the layoffs happening inside feels absurd. And I do agree with that. I do agree with that aspect of it. I think that is, but very part, of course, when it comes to these kinds of things. But at the end of the day, it feels hard to be here and pretend like everything is fine as our industry, to say nothing of the world, when things very much aren't. And then he's like, can we just get people together for just a moment of catharsis, a single moment smack in the middle of the entire GDC? Can we just have some cathartic, what is that, caterwauling together, even if we can say nothing else, even if there's nothing else, we feel like there's nothing else we can say in this moment. Don't let GDC go by without acknowledging that collectively we feel like things are not okay and we want things to be different. I must admit, I'm going to be honest with you. Like Slomo asking what's the end goal of this? Yeah, this shit is fucking stupid, okay? This is dumb.
I was about to say that. It's just
so
dumb.
So dumb. And it's giving never experienced any real fucking issues in their life. It's
Talk
giving
about it.
It's giving that kind of energy. I'm sorry to say, like, of course, I'm just offering my perspective off a very brief moment that I've seen and my personal feelings on would I do this? No. Would I be in this industry? Absolutely not. So, that's the first thing. But it was just like, I was like, this is really stupid. This achieves absolutely nothing. It is pointless. It is silly. If I was one of these executives, I'd be like, oh, look at them screaming into the void, I say as I wipe my eyes with my fucking money. Like, what does this? It accomplishes absolutely nothing. Does it hurt anything? No, it doesn't hurt anything either, but it's also fucking stupid. It's just stupid.
It's a waste of time.
It's a waste of time. It's a waste of energy. I would never do something like this. I'd rather be more productive with my fucking time. This goes back to how I say the gaming industry is so fucking weird. This is weird behavior. They don't do this in other fucking industries from what I've seen. The lack of professionalism is very odd to me. It's just strange. But I think the lack of professionalism in the gaming industry is why there's so many fucking issues. Why there's so many issues. Because it's just weird. Now, this chick here, she's a unemployed game dev. I hope she is able to get back on her feet and find a job. I wish her nothing but the best. But she said, checking in on Twitter while at GDC, oh, so now it's cringe for devs to express frustration by screaming? Yes. Yes, it is cringe, Diana.
It is.
It's cringe and it's stupid and it's embarrassing and it makes them look bad. Now what? Let people do things. They can do whatever they want. Clearly, they are doing what they want. What you expect? You expect to do whatever you want without anyone having to say something about it? Don't be ridiculous. That's not how the world works. Screaming is also therapy. You know what else is also therapy? Therapy.
Therapy. Yeah. Actual therapy.
Actual therapy. And
Working through your problems and not screaming like a toddler.
Thank you. And then she's like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Calm down and don't be a hater. Okay. Like I said, it goes back to how this industry is full of immature, just full of immature people, And again, I feel for them genuinely. I do. I think it's completely awful that so many people have lost their jobs, but this is not the way you go about it as a fucking adult. Okay, be a fucking adult. And like this, why are people so, like I don't understand. People are so weird. They're so weird because they think this is odd. They think this is weird. They're triggered by folks doing this. I'm just like,
no, you want people to be triggered, which is the reason why you're doing this. If you like, can you think of a human being that isn't getting their way, whether it's justified or not? But can you think of a human being that's not getting what they want, and so they resort to screaming nonstop? Sounds like a child, right? Sounds like a 2-year-old. The terrible twos, as they call it. I've been through it 3 times with 3 different kids. My kids didn't go that far. They knew better. But looking at the demographic of people that were out there and in thinking about how we tend to see how they are raised, doesn't surprise me at all that they resorted to how they used to treat their parents to get their way, that they just start screaming because it worked for them. But you're an adult now. And the decision makers, the executives who are clearly, yes, absolutely greedy, protecting their profits to lay developers off, not willing to take a hit because they don't want investors to be disappointed, and laying you guys off in the hundreds. Yes, it's reprehensible. It flies in the face of all the PR crap that they say. And you think that screaming in a field is going to make that person change their mind?
Field is ridiculous. It's so silly.
Like, think about who you're actually trying to convince here. It's just hello.
The people they're trying to convince is up in their office with a cup of tea and some popcorn, going enjoying the show. Yeah, someone record it. Come on, I want it in 4K. I'll blow it up on my projector when I get home.
Is that Kathy? Hold on, pause that. Go back. Is that Kathy screaming? That is
Kathy in marketing? What is she doing over there?
Oh my gosh, she's such an idiot.
Actually, no. All the heads are all in the same room and they're placing bets who turns up. They're like, oh,
right.
He turned up.
Oh look, they're interviewing Craig. Craig's such an idiot. Oh, poor Craig. Go back to yelling now, Craig. They don't care. They do not care at all. And they're laughing. and then they're just going to put you on the list of the very first people to lay off next time they do layoffs.
Oh yeah, you know your name is round the list.
I just wish that
Congratulations.
I don't know. It's just very odd to me. I have seen other forms of protest, and this is definitely one of the strangest ones. And yeah, and then someone made a fantastic point here, and I will post it. Okay, so Jean Gentry says it's not cringe to scream in frustration. It's cringe to record it, post it, and act like it's some act of rebellion against the boogeyman that devs created because some gamers don't like the influence of SBI in the games they purchase. So there's one instance of that. I do think that I definitely think that at the end of the day, the issue comes down to these corporations.
Wait, is that why they were screaming over the whole SBI? I thought it was for the layoffs. If it's for SBI, if it's for Sweet Babe, that's even worse.
I think it's for the layoffs. It says layoffs, but other issues. So I don't know. Layoffs and other issues. I'm assuming it's just for the layoffs. I think it'd be very silly for them to go and just be screaming because of these consultancy companies or whatever.
It's the whole stupidest thing. It's like, what are you gonna accomplish? Do you think the head of EA is gonna sit there and go, "Oh, you know what? We're right." No. As soon as you get back into work, they're gonna be like, "Here's your work. Piss off." And
get back to work, stupid.
Yeah.
I hope you still have some of your voice left, because I'm gonna need you to speak up in the meeting that we're having in 10 minutes.
Oh, can you imagine if some of the people there were heads of departments and they have to communicate with their team afterwards? Oh man.
just like very odd behavior. It's just my opinion though. It's just my perspective. Of course, they can do whatever they want because they're going to do whatever they want, right? But I personally, I'm just like, this is weird. And if I had been there, I'd be like, I don't know what they doing out there. What's going on out there? I'm not sure, but I'm fucking out of here, dude. You're not gonna catch me on camera doing some shit like that, man. And I just feel like there's a some sort of disconnect when it comes to these people and healthy coping mechanisms, you know? And again, I do genuinely feel for these developers and the people in this industry, regardless of what anyone may say, like, oh, they deserve this and all this extra stuff, right? I think it's very unfortunate that a lot of people have lost their jobs, especially in the tech industry in general. They are spending far too much and they overhired during the pandemic. So things are, it's very, it's rough right now, you know? And it's like, in general, it's difficult to find a job. The process is just it takes fucking forever. It takes forever. Even my job, I had to go through 4 interviews and send 5 references, professional references, you know? I was just like, "Okay." And it was just a very long process, and I'm just imagining going through that process again as someone who was laid off, and I wouldn't even I wouldn't wanna work in this industry in the first place, you know? But, like, with everything that's going on, it just seems like it's only gonna get worse before it gets better, you know? But yeah, let me say hi to people in the chat because 'cause I've not done that. I've just been yapping. Let me just pull this up. Sorry, guys. I cannot wait. Y'all, I cannot wait to lay my ass down, dude. I'm so tired. Okay. What's up, Delta? Delta said, if I catch you out there screaming, I'm gonna block you due to secondhand embarrassment, as you should. As you should. You know, I think that you are right to do so because I would do the same thing, Delta. All right. Brian,
I would record the clip of you out there with them and save it for later so that every time we got into an argument, I would just send you that.
I mean, that's fair because it's ridiculous.
Right.
Brian says, I mean, I would get it if it's a bunch of kids if a bunch of kids did it at PAX, but GDC is the LinkedIn version of the gaming convention. And again, Brian, it goes back to me saying that the gaming industry is very odd to me. It's very strange because there's a distinct lack of professionalism, you know? But what's up, Ren, Blade X, Lionel, Ronald, Delta, Brian, Gregor, Zeron, Iman, Arcade, Sly. I think I saw Troysky. Troysky, what's up? Leaky. What's up, guys? How are y'all doing this very fine Saturday evening? I can't wait to fucking go to bed, dude. What's up, Miko? I'm not gonna lie. So, Sir X-Men, how's it going? Um, what's
I
up,
don't know
guys?
about you,
Nothing but
Luca.
love.
I'm excited to get back to gaming. You know.
Yeah, me too, man. Yeah, I guess we'll do a shorter show then. What's up, Sly? All right. Yeah. So yeah, I just very odd. And let me tell you something again. It's like it really. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. Oh, okay. Slow.
Yo. What am I looking at here?
They okay.
Oh wow, it really is about the whole SBI thing.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Can you guys?
So you had the opportunity to make this about this really stupid thing about your colleagues who are currently going through unemployment and trying to figure out how to, pay bills. But instead, you're upset over Sweet Baby Inc.
I think it's a mix of both. I do. He did mention both.
Yeah.
But the fact that the Sweet Baby Inc. thing is even like there is fucking stupid. All right, this is another stupid thing.
It makes complete sense. Now this whole gathering makes complete sense. This is something they do because they're absolutely unbelievably stupid, and we could tell they're unbelievably stupid because the way that Chris Kindred and other people interact on Twitter, they are incredibly stupid people, and they would organize a stupid event. So yes, it makes sense. Sweet Baby Inc. is involved because it just makes sense. Like, I don't think anyone else would have formed this screaming match in the middle of a garden over some Gamergate 2.0. It's like, no, people just don't want your shit in their games. So stop. Because as we explained in episodes before, speaking about Sweet Baby Inc., I like your idea, but the way you go about it is complete dog shit. So, you know.
Yeah, that is really unfortunate. Does again, I can understand being upset because of the layoffs, but the Sweet Baby thing, I'm gonna keep it real with you.
Yeah.
If I worked at one of those consultancy companies, nobody would know. Let's start there. I would not be fucking telling people, all right? Because I don't want people to know what my job is in general. But secondly, I also would not feel bad if a bunch of gamers were like, "I don't want this." I'm like, "Okay, like that's fair. It's fine, whatever. You not wanting it isn't gonna change shit, boo. It's coming." That's what I would say. I would not get upset about it or get triggered or be like, "These are all right wing conspiracy theorists." I'd be like, "I don't give a fuck, man. It is what it is." But yeah. So let's go ahead and talk about this game that this is deciding to skip Xbox. Okay, it is called Inotria: The Last Song, which launches August 21st. The Xbox Series version is no longer planned. All right, so this is an article from Gematsu. So Italian Souls-like action RPG Inotria: The Last Song will launch for PlayStation 5 and PC via Steam and the Epic Game Store. A developer, I'm not even gonna bother trying to pronounce that name. It's a developer I've never heard of, but a demo is coming soon. They previously announced an Xbox Series version, but it's no longer planned and will be reassessed post launch. So the CEO Jackie Greco regarding the release date announcement and canceled Xbox Series release. I'm proud of the work that the entire team has accomplished, especially when considering that we are an indie company of just 60 people, in contrast to the numerous Souls-like games that have recently been developed by teams, including outsourcing assistants, numbering over 700 individuals. During the transition from Unreal 4 to 5, we managed to expand the game and elevate it in terms of content and quality, going beyond the expected AA standards. Presently, the game offers 3 main regions with over 40 hours of gameplay, more than 100 different enemies, supported by a robust RPG system. We focus extensively on aspects beloved by Souls-like players, particularly the diversity of builds and weaponry. Our skill tree and mass switch system promises to revolutionize it. Those are some bold words, my guy. Or
Mhm.
girl. I can't tell if this is a guy or girl based on the name, but person promises to revolutionize the Souls-like genre with okay, it doesn't say have any pronouns. Promises to revolutionize the Souls-like genre with unprecedented build diversification. Currently, we offer 68 skills and 30 masks, resulting in over 150 million possible combinations. This, coupled with over 120 available weapons, 30 aspects, which are stat modifiers, and more than 45 spells, expands the possibilities beyond anything seen before. We are eagerly anticipating the freedom players will have within our game. A demo will soon be released on PS5, Steam, and Epic Store, affording potential buyers the opportunity to experience the game before making a purchase. We are confident that they will be enamored with it, and this will also provide us with valuable feedback from players worldwide. Regarding the release on Xbox, we have decided, in the interest of ensuring a superior experience for PC and PlayStation 5, to reassess the possibility of an Xbox release post launch. As previously announced in Notria, the last song will be priced at $49.99 for standard and $59.99 for deluxe. Okay. The latter includes 72 hours of early access, digital art book, original soundtrack, digital art book extracts, and exclusive weapons sets, upgrade materials from weapons, mass lines, extra miracle pesto, hemavigor, and Harmonia sap, and access to upcoming downloadable content. So, I must admit that game sounds kind of awesome. I'm not gonna lie,
Mhm.
sounds pretty interesting. I this is something that this is something I'm gonna check out. A shout to Sir X-Men saying no one noticed Microsoft changed the rewards amount. I did not notice that. No. And shout out
The,
to Nautical, who's been a member for 40 months, and you can address that in a moment, Snicker. But
Mhm.
those people bored and went to organize a get together. Guess they're more mad about Sweet Baby than being laid off. Also, I love y'all. Love you too, buddy. But go ahead, Singer.
it does. I mean, with games like this, I have to take it with a grain of salt because we've seen other games come out before, which are, going to be Souls games, and they're going to do something different. But they always come out a bit more mid compared to like the mainline Souls games. Now I know they're indie
Well,
projects at
yes.
AA, not obviously Miyazaki himself, coming down and going, "Yo, here's the best product ever." It does look all right, and it's priced appropriately. I'm glad they got the pricing right. Um, is a good price for it. It's skipping Xboxes. I mean, half the people probably didn't even know it existed in the first place, so they can't really get outraged because I didn't
Mhm.
even know this game existed until this popped up. Like, I had no clue this ever existed. Like, it would be mainly because it was revealed in the Idea Xbox, and you
Oh,
know how many people watch Idea Xbox, right?
so it was announced and revealed at
Yes,
ID and
and
Xbox, but it's skipping
Mhm.
Xbox.
yep, and that's what makes it even more hilarious is the fact that it had its grand reveal and everything at Idea Xbox, and then they turn around and go, "Nah, not for you." Um, the thing is, okay, cutting out another platform does help you improve it, but if it still runs like crap on PC and PlayStation, then your game ain't gonna do shit anyway. So
They better hope
you
to God
you
this shit runs well.
they need to hope because if it doesn't perform well and you cut that was your reasoning for cutting it, then you got some issues, my guy. And it doesn't matter even if you release the Xbox One at that point because ain't no one gonna give a shit. So it's a gamble they're taking to
It might
improve the
just pay
game.
off.
So hopefully it pays off. Hopefully,
Hey
you know what I
Cassie,
mean?
how's it going, girly? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. When I saw that it was skipping Xbox, I was just like, oh. And when they were like for superior PC and PS5 performance,
Mm,
okay, we want to make sure that the real console in the real platform, which is PC, get the best version. That's basically what he said. That is
Yeah,
what that is
basically.
what he said.
that
Okay.
is what he
He said
that is what he
Xbox is dog shit and not gonna sell any anyway, so we're not putting it out on the Xbox.
Mhm. And
But
this is why I enjoy ditching the console because all the games that come out, they always seem to come to PC, and I'm on PC. Now, if I was an Xbox only gamer, I'd be missing out on only Grand Blue Fantasy. Is that on Xbox? Well, I'm playing it right now on Steam.
Final
So,
Fantasy VII Rebirth.
It's only on PlayStation right now, but it'll be coming to PC very soon. 16's coming
Yep.
to PC. Ghost of
Is
Tsushima.
likely never coming to Xbox.
Yep. So, I mean, I'm in the right place, and it should be no surprise that we've seen this quite a few times now, games skipping Xbox. JRPGs in particular seem to enjoy skipping Xbox. And it is what it is. So,
I remember this game from this developer called Night School Studio. A couple years ago, they got acquired by Netflix to make games for Netflix. But back when they made their very first game, Oxenfree, it was kind of like a nice little cult hit that everyone was like, "Oh, this game's pretty cool. I like this," right? And they got a little bit of popularity. That first game, Oxenfree, first came out on PC, then Switch, then Xbox and PlayStation. Night School Studio is only 12 developers. And I think even now they're not that big. I don't even think they're like 24 developers now. Now, their second game, After Party, despite also not being as good as Oxenfree, had a lot of performance issues. And After Party released on every platform at once. And I never noticed a single bug in Oxenfree, but I couldn't go 5 steps in After Party without a massive frame rate drop or other kinds of issues. And when you're that small of a team, you need to prioritize making money and making sure the version on the platforms that you are going to make the most money on, or at least intend to make the most money on due to the demographics of that platform and how big the install base is. You have to prioritize those platforms first. It coming to Xbox second. Xbox gamers who, can be upset about it. I think the loudest ones will be the ones that weren't going to play it anyway, as usual. But what it comes down to is that your platform of choice is not very popular. Sorry. And when it's not very popular and no one's buying games for it, you're going to get situations where games are going to miss your platform. Even when the platform takes their own first-party games and puts them on the more popular platforms, that just gives the other third parties even more incentive to skip the platform.
Bro, you don't believe in the platform, so why should we? Why should we invest in this platform?
Exactly.
There's no point. Shout out to Big Daddy member for 20 months. Appreciate you. What's up, Saber? What's up, Texas Lean? What's up, PS Rewind? So yeah, I wanted to bring this topic to the show so I could ask folks. I'm like, so is this just I understand that this is a really small AA game, right? Or, not really small, but it's a AA game. It's from an indie studio. I get that. But do you think that this is the start of a spooky trend, especially with Xbox, as you said, Slow-Mo, putting their games on PlayStation?
It's a trend that's been going though.
It's going to get worse.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think it's going to get worse?
Think of every single JRPG over the past since the Series X launched. Just to take in that time frame. How many of these games have launched and none of them have been on Xbox? I could probably give you 15 or 20.
No, I hear you, but I'm talking about okay, respectfully, JRPGs aren't super popular. You know what I'm saying? They're popular, but they don't sell to the same extent for the most part. There are certain outliers, right? So them not coming to Xbox and also it's Xbox. They're not Xbox doesn't sell in
but
Japan
it's
at all.
It's skipping the platform though.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It makes sense that they wouldn't be on Xbox. Xbox doesn't even sell well in Japan. So why would they come to Xbox? That makes perfect sense.
The caveat is Sega, because Sega seems to absolutely adore Xbox for whatever reason.
Yeah, which is like I said, outliers, right? But I'm talking about other countries. You know what I'm saying? Other developers in Western countries being let's just skip Xbox because there's no point in putting our game on there. Do you think that?
They see what the Japanese see. Why would you sell a game on 20 million base, and let's say you released a game on there and you only sold 1 million copies, let's say, and you released the game at the same time and on PlayStation, and you had 5 million copies, you had 3 million on Steam, and 5 million on Nintendo. Are you really going to look at that 1 million and go, yeah, that was worth the time? Or are you just going to go, okay, fine? And people now are looking, well, even so, everyone's now looking at their profit margins and they're going, well, how can we save money? Let's not release an Xbox port. That saves some money, right?
Yeah, I think that
Mhm.
it's possible that that might become more prevalent because of how expensive gaming is right now, how much they're spending on these titles. I definitely think that it's possible. I'm not saying that it's going to happen. I'm just saying, like, I think there's a possibility that more developers, not just the developers that make JRPGs, more developers will opt to skip the Xbox and just focus their energies on making like the best possible version for PC and PlayStation 5.
I think it's definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
I know, I know you were kind of hedging, your bets there, Luca, saying it's possible. I think it will. I think we'll start to see that happening more and more as the Xbox hardware has been devalued for a while now, and is even more devalued with not. I mean, basically not really having. I mean, they didn't really have true exclusive anyway with PC, but now even those is like those console exclusives are starting to look like they're just be timed exclusives. So there's just really no incentive to own one unless you just really have that FOMO and gotta play these Xbox games, which very few have been considered to be must-have kind of titles at launch before they show up on PlayStation or Switch, or you just really don't want to own a gaming PC that can play them at day one as well. It's just, yeah, you're going to start seeing it more and more, especially when we look in Europe. And in Europe, they Xbox sales were down 47% year over year. Like everyone was down, but nobody was down like that. Like PlayStation was
Yep.
down 2%, Switch was down like 11, 47%. Yo, like they don't market their product at all. Like they just don't market it. And when you don't put the work in, when you go around and you're even got your executives saying you don't need to buy an Xbox, or saying things like every screen is an Xbox. Oh, so the screen on my refrigerator is an Xbox now, I guess, right?
Please.
It's just stupid stuff like that. Yeah, you're no one's gonna buy your product because you told them you don't need it.
It's kinda like one of those things, and hey, Blaze, how's it going, man? It's kinda one of those
Some
things where it's
Blaze.
like, we're gonna do this thing that hurts our brand, and then shocked Pikachu face when nobody fucking buys Xbox, dude. Like, it's
Mm-hmm.
like, what? Come on now.
You know what's crazy about that? My local game, your equivalent of GameStop. I went down there because I haven't been in ages because I'm all digital, right?
As you
So I was like,
should.
let me have a look. And the Xbox used to be 2 full rows. Now it's only 1 full row. And the other row is taken up by PlayStation. So now PlayStation has 4 full rows. Nintendo has 4 full rows. Xbox has 1 full row. And I'm like, that was a change because they used to have three. Then they had two. When I went in to pick up GTA 5, they had 3 rows. Now they got 1 row. And I'm like, well, I mean, kind of makes sense, right? PlayStation and Nintendo are super duper popular, and Xbox really isn't that popular. So, they're going to put more PlayStation shit on the shelves because it's going to sell. It is what it is.
Yes, though it really pains me to admit it, Slomo had a
It
point.
pains me.
Wow.
Oh, nothing else? No follow-up?
No, I'm just gonna let it marinate.
Alright, it's one of those rare occurrences, so rare occurrences where I acknowledge that, not where you being right,
I
'cause
know, I
we
know, I know, I
often
know, I know what you meant. I know what you meant.
yeah, we often, agree on things, and when we don't agree, I'm just like, so, it's just, Xbox brand, I don't know, like, respectfully, they don't seem like they care about their brand, honestly speaking. Like, if they d you would think that they did, based on the fact that they spent so much money on these acquisitions. Like, I really thought this is the year of Xbox. We say that every year. We say that every year, okay? I really thought that, it was Xbox's time, but I guess not. I guess it is once again I guess it's a sucks to suck sort of situation, man. Like,
They
what can
spent
you
that
really
money.
expect?
They spent that money to promote Microsoft gaming. They don't care about Xbox.
Yeah.
Microsoft gaming is not Xbox.
And this is why I have to give big appreciation to Phil. Because when you made that decision back in 2015 or whenever it was to put all your games on PC, bravo, my guy. Because I am fantastic right now. Thank you. See, show appreciation to Phil, everyone.
And
Ahead of the curve.
I ain't showing him no appreciation. Every 2 years, he got a whole new mantra.
Hey, he can
That's
have
so
his
generous.
mantra.
It's like every year and a half. Like,
Right.
every 6 months, he's changing his fucking mind.
Actually, no, it's every 3 months because remember, you have Matt Booty and Sarah Bond speaking, and then you have the upper management of Microsoft speaking, and they all contradict each other. So the story changes every month or so.
Yeah, communication at Xbox is fucking ass, dude. It's ass. And another thing, I'm just gonna say it's ass. I'm not gonna go into detail about how else I feel about it. It's just really unfortunate, man. I mean, I don't really feel bad. It's kind of whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I have everything, so it doesn't really matter, right? But I do still think that it is an very odd set. I guess I just don't really understand it, you know? I don't really understand why you would spend all this money and then seemingly make a go at turning things around, because the biggest issue was Xbox does not have any games, right? Like, that was the main thing people complained about. But instead of just, you know, buying everything up and making a go at it and starting to compete in that manner, because those who can't create spend money, right? They decide to start putting their games on PlayStation. I'm like, well, why didn't you just do that from the fucking jump? What was the point of any of this? You should have just started doing that from the jump, dude. You waited.
Luca, you
Wait,
went
I'm in the
wrong.
middle of my tirade again. Let me finish,
Have
man.
your tirade. Have your tirade.
Thank you. Like, what was I just don't understand, like, what the point was for them to spend all that money on Activision Blizzard and Bethesda if it's just like, yeah, these games are probably gonna show up on PlayStation anyway. Are you fucking serious? Then why did you do this? Why? What do you shout out to Bobby Kotick. That fucking sleazeball has gotten the best deal in history. He has achieved so much. And now he's out, you know? Like, he has left Microsoft with the proverbial bag, dude. And not the good bag. It's the bag full of shit. All right? Like, they're fucking screwed. They're fucking screwed, man. And they're making stupid decisions. And they don't seem to realize that it's a bad idea to put all your fucking games on the quote unquote rival platform. Obviously, that's going to hurt your fucking brand. Obviously. Anybody with half a brain could fucking figure that out. You don't gotta fucking go and get your fucking business degree to know that shit, man. But anyway, go ahead, Singer.
Yeah, I was gonna say they do have games. They have timed console exclusives, Luca.
Okay.
Because they're all coming to PlayStation after 6 months. So, I mean,
Xbox doesn't have any fucking games, dude.
yeah, they do. They have timed console exclusives.
All right. God, I remember being in this community when the term console exclusive started like becoming a thing. And like the backlash and the way people would go back and forth, and it's just like consoles exclusive doesn't count. It's not a real exclusive. Like, I remember that just being a thing. And as time has gone on, everyone's just slowly accepted that this is our new reality. And it really comes down to them spending too much goddamn fucking money. Why did they buy Activision Blizzard? What was the point of that? Like, what was the point of that? Why? They should have just kept it Bethesda and just spent their money on fucking indie studios after that, instead of spending all that or spent that money investing. They should have spent that money investing in the studios they already had. Instead, they decided to spend it on fucking Activision Blizzard, dude. Like, this is And then, like, the Toys for Bob situation, they were definitely gonna cut those folks, they were gonna get rid of them, and they bought themselves out, and it's just like, why? But whatever, it is what it is. It's just one of those unfortunate realities that we live in. I'm not super
Y-
upset again, I have every single fucking system, it doesn't matter for me. But it is one of those things that just has me scratching my head is I just don't understand what their, strategy is, and the reason I don't understand their strategy is because they probably don't understand it either because they change their mind every 5 seconds, dude, like, Imma keep it a stack with you, man. They change their mind so goddamn often that it's just kinda like, "Alright, like, what are you guys" like, do they hire people off the street? Why do they think that this is a good idea? Slimmer, why do they think this is a good idea?
They think this is a good idea because Microsoft is a tech company through and through, and they follow the data. And whenever they make decisions based on what the data tells them. But unfortunately, uh, that doesn't really work in the realm of entertainment, which is what gaming is. It's not just like it's created by tech, but it is fueled by decisions that people make that are entertainment based. And those things don't follow the logic of strictly data, which is the mistakes that people like Google made when they came into this, following data. Hey, gaming is bigger than movies, bigger than music. Why aren't we getting a piece of this? We could do things like cloud, but they didn't understand what branding is. They didn't understand that you need to have your own games, and they didn't have any of that stuff. Microsoft doesn't understand after all this time. They don't understand entertainment. They don't understand what Nintendo and Sony know about the gaming industry, about protecting your brand. Nintendo will never, ever, ever put any of their IP on a PlayStation or Xbox. Because the moment that they do it, they irreparably tarnish and devalue their brand. If you want to play Mario, you know what you got to do. You got to buy some kind of Nintendo product to play Mario. If you want to play God of War, you know what you have to do. Freaking Sony don't even own Spider-Man, but in the gaming realm, they were going around using their influence to make sure that Spider-Man was only on in the trash Avengers game, only on PlayStation. They understand how communities work, how mind share is, how when people think of a particular thing, they think of your product. Microsoft has made their bones in Microsoft Office, in Windows, in productivity utilities that people have no choice but to get. You want to do the job, you have to engage in something that Microsoft owns in some way, shape, or form. Every single one of us in our jobs have to. They are so used to always having their hands in everything and everyone always having to come to them. They don't understand how to market anything because what have they had to market?
Mm.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
They don't need to market anything. And
it's
so
true.
that's their problem. They don't know how to do this work. This is why when non-English speaking countries going out and doing the work, understanding the culture, understanding what they like, what kind of games, what? They don't do that. Why do we need to do that? We're
It,
Microsoft. They don't understand. Go ahead, man.
instead of buying Activision Blizzard, they should have spent the money to retain their talent. Because,
Mhm.
old boy Shinji got out of Tango Gameworks and said he was going to retire. Oh, it turns out he set up his own studio, his own indie studio. And
Mhm.
it's like, well, could you have paid him a bit more to stay at the studio? And he could still head the studio? But no, you let him go, and you've done this multiple times now. So how about don't buy Activision Blizzard? 70 billion could retain a lot of talent, and make some people very happy to stay at the company.
Yeah,
But here
and,
we are.
like, honestly speaking, yeah, like, I was all for them buying Activision Blizzard, like, I was like, "Yeah, this is great. They have more games, it's gonna be Finally, some fucking value, you know. And of course, Xbox did have a couple games of value, right? But I'm just saying, like, with the Activision Blizzard added to their repertoire, it would have just been like a nice little bonus, you know? Like, oh, those games showing up in Game Pass, that would have been great. So yeah, if me and Singer are singing a different fucking tune, it's because they're doing something that we did not expect, which is putting the fucking games on PlayStation anyway. You know? Like now I'm looking at this Activision Blizzard deal, like, why would you fucking spend this money on this? Why would you do this? Just why? So that's why we're singing a different tune. Like, you know, it's not just oh, you guys randomly changed your mind and you were saying something different before. It's like, no, there is new information and we are allowed to change our minds when there's new information. We're not people who are fucking static, okay? We're not someone who just goes with the same sort of thinking when new information is presented, like so many other people do. I changed my mind based on new information, and now I'm just kind of like, this was not a good idea. And now I'm just looking at Xbox like, all right, well, I guess we'll see what happens. I think I have an idea of what's going to happen. They should have just sold the fucking brand in the first place. They should have sold the Xbox division. They should have just sold it and just been done with it. Now, do I want that? No, because PlayStation having a fucking monopoly on the industry is not a good thing. All right? Like, throw PC out of the way. It's not a good thing. Xbox and PlayStation need one another. You don't want just one company to rule them all. And again, I see this title in Notria and no whatever the fuck it's called, right? And I just watched the trailer. That shit looks fire, dude. I'm not gonna lie. That shit looks pretty good. You know, and they said, like, okay, we are gonna put this game on Xbox later. We are a small studio. We had to prioritize. It's just the fact that they changed their mind in the first place, where they're just like, we just can't do it. We have to drop the platform that's not going to work for us, and it's automatically always going to be Xbox as the platform people are going to drop because it's not going to work for them. You know, it's always going to be Xbox. Always. Unless Xbox opens their fucking wallet and are just like, here's some money for y'all to come over here. PlayStation doesn't have to do that. Developers just naturally are like, we'll just put our games on PlayStation. All right, cool. We don't want to do any of that extra shit.
Saber, what you don't understand is, if Xbox stops giving competition, goes away to the third party, right? Goes the Sega route. You understand PlayStation now has free reign to make the games $100, and then you go, well, I don't want to pay that. Well, what are your choices? What console choices? You play FIFA and COD every single year. You don't like PC gaming. You need to go out and buy a console. There's only one console available because it's not coming to the Switch. So, okay, you only got a choice of one console. I can make that 800 and you will happily pay it. Otherwise, how are you going to play FIFA? I can make it 900. You're still going to pay it. I'll have you on your knees, opening your wallet, and drain you for all you have.
Oh, okay.
That's what Monopoly does. So this is why... yeah, basically.
Yeah, like I said, you know, me and Singer pretty much are saying the same thing. Who is messaging me? Pretty much are saying the same thing. Oh, ew! Oh, this is not good. This is not good. Nautical just sent me a picture of what Xbox games look like in stores versus PlayStation. Yeah.
How bad is it?
It's pretty bad, dude. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's pretty bad. Can I show this, Nautical, on screen? Just let me know. Gregor's like, you have to start competing in order to stop competing. Regardless of how any of us may feel, PlayStation does view Xbox as competition. All right, like
they do.
They do. Regardless of what anybody may think on social media, they do think of Xbox as competition. Why do you think they were so thirsty to keep Xbox from buying fucking Activision Blizzard? Jim Ryan literally embarrassing me with some of his antics. Being like, please, just don't.
We could never recover if they bought it. Shut up.
This is just not okay, man. All right. Very, very silly. Very silly. Okay, I gotta make sure I don't show the me and Slow-Mo talking shit thread. All right. So this is Nautical works at GameStop. He's a manager. He's like, this is kind of an idea of like Xbox versus PlayStation. Here's the PlayStation versions, PlayStation version, PlayStation version, PlayStation version, Xbox.
Yep, that's the
And
same way it
that's
is
in
at my
their
game.
home country.
Yep. And it's even worse over here. Like, the Xbox section has gone significantly way smaller than what it was. It's been a year, and they went from two lanes to one lane. And soon it'll just be a section of a lane. And then soon Xbox will be parked outside the toilets or something. I don't know. Like,
I have seen videos from people in other countries where they're like, I don't even know how to find an Xbox.
They're like, I don't even know what
Well,
that is.
Yeah, they know what it is.
I know.
They don't know how to buy one. So like they'll go into like the equivalent of like say like a GameStop or a Best Buy or something, and they'll be looking for the Xbox section. In the video game section where there are video games, they're looking for Xbox. And either it's so small, it's like a little kiosk like in the middle of the floor, you just barely, you just missed it, it just the green the corner of your eye, or it just don't exist. It's just not in there. You could buy it online if you want, but in the store they don't have it. And like when that's easily reversible as far as your presence as a platform. I mean, like other much smaller companies and other industries can be in those same stores and have a bigger presence than a $1 trillion corporation.
The Xbox is so
All it
trash.
takes is it just takes effort. And when you don't put the effort in, you get exactly what you get, which is negative 47% year over year.
And I don't feel bad for Xbox. They did this to themselves. Their leadership is just very, very questionable, I must admit. Too many chefs in the kitchen, I must say.
I think it is a leadership issue because I think to the glory days of the 360, it was glorious. You had every game you can imagine. PlayStation had to deal with Skyrim that was a bag of crap, and I get to play the excellent version on my 360, and people were skipping partly, and all that was PlayStation's fault because they decided to go with that stupid ass fucking processor instead of being a normal person and just copying Xbox and releasing normally. But anyway, it's like, hey, Xbox is it ain't looking good out here, Luca. It hasn't been looking good for a while, and it's looking even worse now. So it's But go ahead and build yourself a PC instead of buying the next Xbox.
Yeah, just get a. Honestly,
I think that's what a lot of people have already done. Honestly,
get a fucking PC. I'm not even gonna fucking hold y'all. Get a PC, dude. Like this is
basically.
I don't know how much PC parts are right now. Is it actually a good time to buy a PC?
It actually is.
Yeah.
The prices went down. Yeah,
it's really good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right, well, get yourself a fucking PC. Like this Xbox shit, man. It ain't it anymore. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Shit's just not looking good, man. Okay.
It's much easier to maintain things than people think. People get really afraid about PCs and like, oh, it's so the drivers and stuff. Look, bro, just once a month, check a website to see if you got new drivers or not, or download the software that these companies that make the GPUs actually support. And then it'll send you a notification the same way your console does when you need to update your drivers. It's really that simple. It's not way too much maintenance.
And also,
that seems like too much work.
No.
But you gotta do that on the console.
That's it. That's too much work. I'm sorry. It's too much work.
NVIDIA has a really good one because they have the GeForce Now app, and it pops up in the corner of my screen. A new driver is ready to install. I click it once, one click. I click on Express Installation, 2 clicks. It does what it does, and then I click Close. 3 clicks. My drivers are done. And think about it. You no longer have to pay for online to play your multiplayer games.
Exactly.
Think of how much money do you spend on Xbox Live and PS Plus a year just to play
Exactly.
multiplayer games? Now take that out of the equation. Like, come on.
Oh, I just realized you came on screen.
Oh my god, yeah, I want to show you my hair because I changed my hairstyle for the first time in years. Like, so now, it's like I was watching Law and Order Special
It's
Victims.
different.
Are you asking?
Yeah, no, continue.
Okay, see, this is what the issue with men, right? They just don't notice these sort of things, right? But anyway, I was watching Law and Order Special Victims Unit, and Olivia has her hair parted like this, right? And normally I have my hair parted to the side, but now it's like I got both parts. So it's like, anyway, I just wanted to show you guys my, I just wanted to show you my hair. Maybe some of you can't tell a difference, and that's okay. But, I just wanted to share it with some of y'all. I was just excited. Thank you. PS Rewind. Blade X says it looks the same as always. Okay. All right. Well, again, I don't expect much from men when it comes to these things. Okay.
No, it looks
I
good,
don't.
Luca.
Thank you. I was just excited for that. And, I got my Yu Yu Hakusho t-shirt on because I have to represent the best. That's okay. I just, I don't expect much from men when it comes to noticing these things. And so what am I going to do when I finally get a man slow-mo and he doesn't notice my hairstyle? How am I supposed to feel about that?
You're going to get over it and spend some time with him.
Yep.
That's what you're going to do.
I gotta be with someone who notices these small things slow. I'm sorry.
I'll tell you now, Luca. I'm guilty of it. Previous relationships in the past, and it's like get the hair done, and it's like I never comment on the hair for the entire night, and then it's like, oh, your hair's done.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? My little brother, he's like, oh, you changed your hair. You look so nice. I'm just like, at least I raised him right, okay? I raised him correctly, all right? Me and my sister, okay? He's our youngest brother, right? So, anyway, moving on from that. So,
Well, I mean, he sees you on a daily basis, so of course he would notice the difference. Am I wrong?
You just want an excuse to not even pay attention to me, Slow-Mo.
Oh my god.
I thought I was your little sister, but I guess not. So anyway.
You are my little sister. Physically, yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So anyway, so shout out to Gregor who says when Singer watches his body pillow girlfriend, is it laundry or waterboarding? I would say it's waterboarding.
That is funny.
I hate Gregor so much.
It's
he
so
always brings
funny.
up the body pillow. Just because I like Final Fantasy and Japanese RPGs. Yeah, okay, all the girls are cute. Sue me. Yeah.
When I was younger, one of my friends in high school had a cardboard cutout of Rachel Berry from Glee.
Whoa.
Yeah, and he had it in his basement, and that's where we'd all hang out, right? And every single Friday, I go over to his house. It'd be me, him, and a couple other people. We'd get some Little Caesars, and we would do Glee karaoke.
Wow.
I was 17 years old, man. That was an amazing time of my life. Very amazing time of my life. But yeah, it just reminded me he had a cardboard cutout of Rachel Berry, and I did briefly consider actually getting one. But like looking back on it, that is pretty weird, huh?
Yeah, very weird.
It's pretty weird, yeah. But I didn't think it was weird back then. I thought it was pretty cool. So, all right. So shout out to Corey who says, when you find yourself losing passion in one thing or another, how do you reinvigorate it? Yeah, that is a fantastic question because usually if I feel myself losing passion for something, I try to look at it from like a different angle, right? Like I try to reinvest in it in one way or another, right? Like I think this can apply for so I read fan fiction. I'm not going to go into detail about that, but I read fan fiction and there are certain ships that I have, so I read fan fiction based off the ships, right? And then after some time, if like there's no new if there's no new content coming out, then it's just like for me it's difficult for me to feel that energy in order to continue being invested in the ship if there's not any more content, right? But I find like if you talk to somebody about it, that will like reinvigorate you, especially if the other person has the same kind of energy and they're as enthused about it as you are. It kind of keeps the throw going, you know what I'm saying? As for gaming, I don't know in the like if I lose passion for a game, it's because something the game fucking did. All right. And it's like things building up over time. It's not just I lose passion right away. It's just like, it's not like a I'm cut off sort of thing. It takes time of disappointment for me to finally lose and I have ADHD. So the way I take in my entertainment may be different from you because I get like hyper focused and I get obsessive about my stuff, So me losing interest in something takes a different form than others. But I would say, like, if you feel yourself losing interest, uh, talk to someone who has the same interest as you. Whenever someone and I talk about Dragon Age or Mass Effect, it like reinvigorates me. I'm just like, yes, I fucking love these series so much. It's so good. And we can talk about it for hours and it like never gets old, never gets dull. It's always something that's very enjoyable to me. So I would say like just talk to someone who has the same passion for the topic that you do.
I
Do you guys have
agree
any
with
tips?
I agree with Luca, and also good shout on the fanfic because I read fan fiction as well.
Oh, nice.
Um, and I've seen some interesting things. Fan fiction. I heard the Pokemon fan fiction community goes wild. They got a
Okay.
whole party going on over there. If you want to explore it, it's a fun time. Apparently, I'm staying away. But yeah, they got some things going on over there. But anyway, yeah, if I find when I lose passion for something, let's say, like certain games for me personally, like for example, League of Legends, right? I've been playing the game for 8 years. I'm gonna lose passion at some point, right? And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna put the game down, go do something else, ignore it for a while, and then I come back to it, and it feels new. If I feel invigorated, and that's the way I go about it. And it's like give it a break. For example, I really love cycling, for example. And then one day I was like, I really can't be, I lost all my passion for it. So I was like, I'm not going to go cycling. 6 months later, went back outside. I was like, you know what? I got a new bike. Let me go out cycling. Love reignited. So I don't know, just give it a break, give it a rest, get another hobby or something, or, you know, and then come back to it.
Yeah, you gotta take breaks. If you feel like you're going too far, or you don't really feel the same about it as you used to, you need to find something else to actually replace that whatever that hobby or activity is in your life in order to keep that going. Or look, it's nothing wrong with this. Sometimes we grow and we change and we start to have interest in things that we didn't have interest in before, and we just don't care about the things that we used to care about as much as we did. There's nothing wrong with that. And sometimes
This is
that's
about
just a
growing
part
up,
of
man.
being growing up and being a human being who can evolve. So there you have it. I do have to run because I got kids that want to do a movie night,
All right,
and I
buddy. Talk to
gotta
you later.
do some stuff. But yeah, great show as usual. You guys have a great weekend. Play your games, and Lucas said I was right. Feels good. All right, I'm out.
Peace. So shout out to Marbin Israel saying, don't know if you guys are interested in Dragon Dogma 2. What are your thoughts about its launch? If you guys know. Reviewers and those who had early access claimed they had all the paperwork from Capcom that did say that they had microtransactions, but they didn't think much of it until the store went up. Now fans and gamers are upset at those reviewers for either being negligent or flat out withholding information from them. It's a mess of a launch for an otherwise great game. I will say this. I definitely think there are some reviewers who saw like they just didn't properly read that. They didn't read it. Okay, there are definitely some people who did not properly read that shit. Because I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. I probably would not have properly read it. I would have been like, yeah, okay, I won't show the game or whatever. Like that's the main thing I would focus on, and I wouldn't have seen any of the information, like the other information. So I don't blame the people who missed that. Um, it's one of those like small Like, I'm sure the text was, like, moderately sized, right? But I just, like, who actually reads shit? Like, people don't read, okay? People don't fucking read. Now, those who claim that they did see the microtransaction, but they didn't think much of it before the store went up, I think that if that's the case, they should. I didn't watch any reviews for this game. So I don't know if anyone said anything, but I do think that if it was stated and they did say that they had read it, then they should have been like, yeah, the game is supposed to have some microtransactions. I'm not sure what they are yet because we haven't seen them yet. Like, the store hasn't come up, but I wanted to let you guys know that my feeling may change. Like, some feelings may change based on these microtransactions coming out. So I definitely think when it comes to reviewers, everyone should be very mindful of who they follow. You should follow someone who, I mean, I think you should watch multiple reviews as long as the person is not spoiling you. But at the end of the day, you should buy something based on how you feel personally as an individual. I think it's fine if you're influenced one way or another to buy something or not buy something based on certain things, like, everything context. But I definitely think that it's just you got to remember that these reviewers, some of them, yellow chair situation. I don't know, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's just
I
something to be mindful of.
I will say, like, I check out the only review I check out for RPGs is Factstra Life, because they're all RPG fans and they always do round up videos of what RPGs coming later this year. They put me onto we got a bunch of games I didn't know were coming, and it's like, oh, yo, these games are good, and they generally do good reviews, and they mentioned the microtransactions and stuff in the game, and they put in their review, and they said there was problems with the performance. They were open about it, but obviously they said it's a flawed game, but it's a fantastic game, and I'm like, okay, thank you for giving me the information that is factually true. It is a flawed game. There is performance issues. The microtransactions are there. They're a thing. But overall, it's a great game in of itself. So yeah. So find a reviewer who is will give you pros and the cons at the same time instead of yeah.
I agree. All right, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Shout out to Ronald Lucas saying, Graham's journalism is seemingly getting worse every day. Okay. In general, mainstream media is trash. It's facts. They fucking suck, dude. These publications do not even hide being biased. Whatever happened to writing good think pieces, Kotaku and IGN generally just need to go away. Also glad to see some of these Holly weirdos getting their reality check. Facts on that, man. Holly called Holly weird for a reason. These people are fucking freaks, dude. And, like, as for games journalism in general, it's because, like, I'm sorry, but it's because, like, the bigger YouTubers have taken their spot. People used to go to these publications because they wanted reliable information about these games, right? But now it's just kind of like they go to YouTubers, and there's a more personal connection when it comes to going to YouTubers because you can hear them. In hearing versus reading, there's different cues that go off in your brain in terms of that kind of a parasocial relationship, right? So it's just like, and also some of these publications have shown over the last couple of years, they've been hiring folks who've been writing, like, in my opinion, trash articles. You know what I'm saying? Like, trash articles about silly topics that nobody gives a fuck about because they're trying to push an agenda one way or another. And unfortunately, these publications have taken a hit because of that. I understand that as a whole, it's not just like one or two people can't make up the whole, but one or two people can, like, make your organization look bad, which is why you have to be mindful when you're hiring certain people. And maybe for a time, a certain mentality was pushed, and people wanted to go with that. But now people are changing their minds when it comes to a lot of stuff. And I also think that people are just tired. People are tired of certain things being they're just tired of not having content that's just focused on the games without them, like, just talking about some other shit. Like the whole Hogwarts Legacy situation. I started reading a review, and the review did not I remember reading a review, that is, And the review did not actually talk about the game at all. It didn't talk about anything in the game. It didn't talk about any of the gameplay aspects. It didn't talk about how long the game was. It didn't talk about the story. It just talked about J.K. Rowling and J.K. Rowling being a transphobe. That's all it spoke about. And it's like people don't want to read that shit if they're looking for a very specific thing. It's like if they're looking for a review on the game, they want to read a review on the game. They don't want to read a review on the politics involved with the creator of the game. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's. I think they're getting what they deserve. I'm gonna keep it a stack. Again, I hate people losing their jobs. I think that sucks, but at the same time, it's just like these publications hire some trash writers in my opinion. It's just my perspective, man. What do you think?
I agree, 100%. This whole IGN needs to stop because now they put out. Thing is, they all put out opinion pieces now. They all have all these opinion pieces about this game or this developer or this publisher or this console or this whatever, or just opinion pieces about random topics outside of gaming. And they've gone away from what they were. Because I remember way back when you could go into the shop and you could pick up a magazine with a demo disc in, and they have reviews of the games. They have all the latest, and it was just nothing but the game, and that was it. They just came, told you what it was, and left. And you were like, okay, I enjoy the game. Cool, 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 cool. Or okay, that doesn't sound for me. But now it's just kind of they've gone beyond gaming, and it's really muddied the water. So they just either need to get back to just doing gaming, or they just need to go away because I could get all the information IGN gives me on shout out to Sportwave. His news of the day. I could get all the headlines condensed, everything that's going on, and just go about my day watching a 10 to 15-minute video. Done.
Yeah, I'm
So
definitely listen, I'm gonna keep it a stack. I'm definitely watching a YouTube video before I read a fucking article, dude. I'm gonna keep it I'm
mhm.
so serious on that. So
Yep.
also for mainstream media, Ronald, mainstream media, they do the same fucking thing. They interject their fucking opinions and they don't actually report on the facts. They're fucking liars. They lie to you, even though the proof is out there because you can see the video images of what the fuck is going on. And then the fucking article comes out and they say some bullshit, or you can hear what's going on. And then the article comes out, completely deliberately misinterprets what someone says in order to push their fucking agenda. This is not fucking early 2000s anymore. We're in the internet age. We're also in the age of misinformation. So there's that too. So it's just like I think skepticism is at an all-time high when it comes to a lot of these publications. And rightfully so, because they lie to us. They are fucking liars, dude. But shout out to Clifton saying W Luca, W Singer, W Show. Appreciate you, my boy. And then
Mhm.
shout out to Anonymous Boss saying salute Luca or salute Ashen and salute the commander in the chat. Uh, salute to you, man. All right. So let's see here. And Light Strife says, have any of you watched the Quiet on the Set documentary? There's a lot of fucked up shit that happened at Nick. I grew up watching these shows and got choked up hearing some of the vile stuff that went on there. So yeah, I've not watched it yet. And I don't know. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I don't know if I'm going to watch it. Like when we first heard about the Dan Snyder and Brian, what was it, Brian Peck? I don't know. I don't know what the dude's name is, but when we first heard about the Dan Schneider allegations like years ago, I was just like, "Oh, okay." And then the foot fetish thing, and it's just like all that weird shit that started to come out. I was just like, "Oh, some bad stuff went on. Some really, really bad stuff went on." Okay. And I remember watching this clip from the Amanda Show, and I remember I like you, like Strife. Um, I grew up watching Nickelodeon, Cartoon Network. You guys already know, and I loved the Amanda Show. But there's like this scene in the Amanda Show that is quite sinister looking back at it as an adult. But as a kid, I didn't think anything of it. But essentially, there was like these pants. It's like popcorn in your pants, right? And it's like these kids were making popcorn in their pants, and then they were bending over, and some other kids were ripping the pants open and just like eating the popcorn from their pants. And like looking at it, it's just kind of
Mm.
like, Yeah, that's pretty bad, actually. You know, like
It is.
it's pretty bad, and it's like I'm sure that there are other things, blatant and also subliminals, that had gone on throughout all of those shows, right? And it's just kind of like these are some sick fucks. These are some very sick fucks, dude. And I have to look at the parents of these kids, um, especially Drake Bell's mom, his father was like, "Do not let Drake be alone with this guy." But she was letting her son spend the night over at a grown man's house. Why? Like, why would you do something like that? What
Yeah,
is the point of that? It's just fucking weird shit, and the parents did not protect their kids properly. They didn't protect their kids properly, and they probably knew what was going on because when it comes to having integrity, these people, it's all about a payday, man. It's all about a cash grab, right? Their kids are their meal tickets, so even if their kids are being abused by predators, they'll look the other way because at least they're getting paid. They're sick fucks. The parents should be held accountable as well, and of course, hold these people. I hold the people who did this shit accountable as well. Um, Hollywood is full of predators.
yep,
Because anybody in a position of power, especially when you have the elites and positions of power and positions of having endless amounts of access and money, I always have to wonder, like, are these people who are always depraved and now they have access to live out their depravity, or are these people who've had this money and had access to so many things that they just start getting bored and just start that it warps their perspective, you know? It's one of those absolute power corrupts absolutely, that kind of thing. Like, does
yep.
having all that power and access and money corrupt you, or were you already fucked up before you gained access to it? And I'm sure it's like maybe there's like a mix of both, you know what I'm saying? But
Yeah,
it's like for me, I think about it and I'm just like, I just don't understand it. Um, I would be so scared to have a child in this day and age with everything that's happening. And I don't there's just so many fucking predators in the industry. There's just so many. And I'm glad we're finally hearing about this shit. Like what you do in the dark does eventually come to light. I genuinely believe that. It's been like fucking like 20 years and now we're all finding out the full extent of what happened to those children and why it makes so much sense why certain stars acted the way they acted, behaved the way that they did. Take Amanda Bynes, for instance. She had so many fucking obviously, there were so many things going on with her when I was a kid, and the media just labeled her fucking nuts. They were just like, "Oh, she's just crazy." No one cared to look into why she was behaving the way she was, you know? And they give these kids access to all these drugs, to numb them. So and th're so young, in the first place, they don't really understand what's going on to them going on, you know? They don't get that what's happening to them is not okay and not right, especially if they go to their parents and their parents are like, "Oh, it's fine. I'm just gonna let you continue being over here." It's very sad. I think it's a very, very sad thing, and, Imma keep it I would have to fight some of these parents, dude. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I'm not gonna fucking lie. I would definitely fight some of these parents, and I would definitely fight these predators. I think that when it comes to harming a child, you are the most disgusting, despicable person on earth, and you deserve the worst things to happen to you. You know, it's not just death; it's other things as well. You deserve the worst things to happen to you, and I feel like that's something I'm never gonna budge on. You're never gonna make me feel bad for child predators, you know. But that's just me. So, oh my goodness, I don't know where he went, but joking. All right, yeah, being that rich would be scary. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. I'm choking on air. Lord, not me dying a little, but okay. But yeah, that's pretty much how I feel about it. Like, I just think it's sad, dude. I think it's just really fucking sad. And yeah, I mean, Saber, you're right. Churches, military, schools, like any any place where someone can be in a position of power is a recipe for corruption, you know? Just a recipe for fucking disaster. And it just there's just something wrong with humans. There's just something like we are animals at the end of the day, so maybe that's what it is, but there's just something real fucked up about some people, dude. So, but yeah. All right, so that's pretty much how I feel about it. Um, yeah, like the Dahmer thing, no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. But yeah, I'm good. I was just choking on air. But anyway, Singer, any thoughts on did you ever watch Nickelodeon or anything like that?
Yeah, I did. And you pretty much just said everything. Like, there's not much to add to it. It's just overall, yeah.
Yeah, it's really
It's
sad.
the fact that and the fact that you grew up watching those cartoons as well, as did I.
Mhm.
And it's like, man, and then how much of the Cartoon Network probably had something similar, just it hasn't come out yet.
Yeah. I'm just don't have any heroes in this industry, guys. Honestly speaking, there's a lot of
Hmm.
really bad people. But I just want to say a shout out to my channel members. I really appreciate you guys supporting me in this manner. So shout out to Hannibal, Slomo, Envy, Jet, Nautical, Pepitio, Light Strife, Brisky, Zion, Sycamore, Duckman Games, Dominic, Jazzy, Subnegro, Smitty, Big Daddy, DC, Kenny, Lord Lorenza, Scrotum, Dirk, MJ, Dealer, Ronald, Tevin, Mr. Dolo, Damien, Amar, Bandy, Corey, Kenneth, Tristan, Texas Lean, Outlaw, King Metrotron, Yobi, FTW, Meat Puppet, Fonz, Lionel, Blade, Brian, Michael, John the Don, Cassie, Gregor, Iman, and Phil. A shout out to the gifted memberships. I appreciate that as well. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for supporting me in that manner. Shout out to all the super chat support. Shout out to everyone who listened during the show. Shout out to everyone who listened after who will damn, am I good? Who will listen after the fact. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for everything. Thank you for supporting my videos. I'm bitch, I'm getting back into content creation. Yes. I didn't make any videos this week, but I will get back to it. I promise. So anyway, yeah, I'm just good show. What you good? What's up, me puppet?
Yeah, great show.
All right, guys. I will catch y'all for another episode. I'm gonna drink some water and not talk until Monday. All right. Thank you guys. Bye. Oh, and watch Solo Leveling.
Yes, watch Solo Leveling.